I caught my wife in bed with another man, and she yelled that he made her feel alive, then demanded a divorce and an even split. I calmly agreed and made one move she never saw coming. What happened next was chaotic, humiliating, and unbelievably satisfying. Hello Reddit I plus here. I never thought silence could feel louder than rage, but that night proved me wrong. I came home early on a Thursday because the office lost power. I did not text. I wanted to surprise my wife, Mira. We had been drifting for months, the kind of quiet drifting where dinners turn into scrolling and kisses turn into nods. I told myself surprises still mattered. I unlocked the door and heard laughter, not the polite laugh she used with neighbors. The real one, the laugh she used to save for me. I walked down the hallway and stopped at our bedroom door. It was half open. I saw a shape move under the covers and a man's voice whisper something I could not hear. I pushed the door the rest of the way open. Mira bolted upright, clutching the sheet. The man beside her froze, eyes wide, hair mussed, wearing my old college shirt. I remember noticing that detail and thinking how strange the brain is in moments like that. She stared at me, and instead of guilt, fear, or apology, her face hardened. He scrambled for his pants. I did not look at him again. "What is this?" I asked. My voice sounded calm, like I was asking where the spare batteries were. Mira laughed once, sharp and defensive. "You caught me," she said. "Congratulations." I waited for something else, an explanation, a crack, anything. "He makes me feel alive," she said, loud enough to drown out my breathing. "I have been dead for years. You made me small, you made everything boring." The words hit, but they did not explode. They sank, heavy, cold. She swung her legs off the bed and stood, naked, unashamed. "I want a divorce," she said. "We split everything evenly, 50-50. I am done." The man hovered behind her, trying to be invisible. I noticed the dent in our mattress where my body usually slept. I nodded. "Okay," I said. That was it. No shouting, no threats, no tears. I picked up my keys from the dresser and walked out. Behind me, she scoffed. "That's it? You don't even care?" I stopped at the door and turned back. "I care enough to be fair," I said. "We will do it properly." She rolled her eyes. "Good. I will have my lawyer call you." I left the house and sat in my car until my hands stopped shaking. That night, I slept on my brother's couch and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. I replayed everything. Her words, the certainty in her voice, the confidence that she would walk away with half of a life I had built, brick by brick. By morning, the shock wore off. What replaced it was clarity. I did not want revenge. I wanted balance. Mira and I had been married 9 years. No kids. We both worked, but our finances were not as equal as she believed. Years earlier, after a close call with a failed startup, I had become careful, quietly careful. I separated business risk from household comfort. She knew I invested. She did not know how. I called an attorney named Saul before breakfast. He listened, without interrupting. "She demanded an even split," I said. I agreed. Saul hummed. "Agreed verbally?" "Yes." "Good," he said. "Words are not paper." Over the next 2 weeks, Mira moved out and posted smiling photos with the man from our bed. His name was Felix. He worked in event promotion and loved captions about living boldly. She glowed online. Friends commented hearts. Some messaged me privately with apologies and gossip. I ignored all of it. Instead, I gathered documents. I had started a consulting company 4 years into our marriage. At first, it barely made anything. I kept it lean. When it grew, I never touched the profits for personal spending. I reinvested everything. By design, the company owned assets, not me. Equipment, intellectual property, long-term contracts. The house, the cars, the joint accounts were straightforward. The company was not. When Mira's lawyer sent over a proposed split, it was aggressive. She wanted the house, half the savings, and half the business valuation. Saul smiled when he read it. "She thinks she knows the board," he said. "She does not know the deck." We responded politely and asked for mediation. At mediation, Mira arrived late with Felix. He wore a blazer over a t-shirt and acted like he belonged there. The mediator raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Mira did most of the talking. She spoke about emotional neglect, about rediscovering herself, about fairness. She glanced at Felix often like he was applause. When it was my turn, I slid a folder across the table. "I agree to an even split," I said, "of marital assets." Her smile widened. "See? That was not so hard." Saul cleared his throat. "We should define marital assets." He opened the folder and began laying out documents, corporate filings, operating agreements, valuations, The consulting company was incorporated under my name, but funded entirely by a loan from my father's trust, issued before the marriage and structured as convertible debt. The intellectual property was licensed from a separate entity that predated the wedding. The profits had never been commingled. In plain terms, the business was not a marital asset. Mira's smile faltered. Her lawyer leaned in, whispering. Felix frowned, confused. That's not right, she said. I supported him. I believed in him, and you benefited from that support. Saul said calmly. The lifestyle, the house, the vacations, those are marital. The business is not. The mediator nodded slowly. That appears accurate. Mira's face flushed. So what do I get? I slid another paper forward. Half the house equity, half the joint savings, the car, and spousal support for a year. I am not trying to punish you. Felix scoffed. That's it? I looked at him for the first time. This does not involve you. Mira stood up. You planned this, she said. You trapped me. No, I replied. I planned my life. You planned an exit. She stormed out. The chaos came next. Within days, she posted cryptic messages about betrayal and manipulation. Friends chose sides. Felix moved in with her and promptly quit his job to chase a music venture. The spousal support became a point of mockery for him. He joked about it online, calling it seed money. Then reality arrived. The house sold. The equity was less than she expected. The market had dipped. The savings split was clean, but spending habits do not change overnight. Felix's venture went nowhere. Arguments spilled onto social media. The glow faded. She asked for more support. I said no. She demanded a reevaluation of the business. Saul said no. She threatened court. Saul welcomed it. Months later, I received a message from her at midnight. No anger, just exhaustion. I did not think it would be like this, she wrote. I did not reply. The final hearing was procedural. The judge approved the agreement. Mira did not look at me. Outside the courthouse, Felix waited by her car, pacing. When he saw me, he laughed nervously. Guess you won, he said. I shrugged. I got what was fair. As I walked away, I felt something I did not expect. Not triumph, not bitterness, relief. Weeks passed. I bought a smaller place near the river. I slept better. I cooked again. I laughed with friends without forcing it. The quiet felt earned. One afternoon, Saul called. She tried to file a motion, he said. It was denied. Okay, I said. That's it? He asked. That's it, I said. The satisfying part was not watching her fall apart. It was watching myself stand still while the storm moved past me. She had yelled that another man made her feel alive. Maybe he did, for a moment. But life is not a spark. It is a structure. And when she kicked at the foundation, she learned which walls were hers to keep. I never raised my voice. I never took more than my share. I just let the truth do the talking. A few weeks after everything was finalized, she tried one last time. It started with a call I almost ignored. When I answered, her voice was soft, shaky, the complete opposite of the woman who had stood in our bedroom and told me another man made her feel alive. She said she was overwhelmed, that Felix had changed, that the divorce was harder than she expected. She reminded me of our early years, inside jokes, late-night drives, the version of us that only existed before she decided I was disposable. I listened. I said nothing. When nostalgia did not work, the tone shifted. She cried. She said I was cold. She said a good man would help her more. She hinted that maybe she had made a mistake and maybe we could talk, just talk, without lawyers. I told her the chapter was closed. 2 days later, the anger came. Long messages accusing me of emotional abuse, of financial control, of ruining her future on purpose. She threatened to tell people her side. I told her she was free to do so. Then came the last play. She showed up unannounced at my place. I opened the door and saw a stranger wearing my wife's face. No confidence, no fire, just desperation wrapped in perfume. She said Felix was gone. She said she needed help. She said I owed her after everything we shared. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. I do not owe you my life, I said calmly. I already gave you my fairness. She searched my face for hesitation and found none. Her voice cracked. So that's it? You just walk away? Yes, I said. She stood there for a long moment, waiting for something dramatic. A breakdown, a speech, a second chance. I gave her nothing. I went back inside and locked the door. That was the last time she tried. Some endings are loud and messy. This one ended the way it should have, quietly, with me choosing myself and walking away without looking back.